Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining once again in the last 7 years. You know, over 250 people have sat on this couch, and what I like about the people, they're real people, they're authentic, and they're real stories. You know, I've been around this crazy criminal justice system now for over 25 years. The first 10 years as a copper, I went to Hoddle Street, saw all that, and I was just saying to my good friend on the couch here, it's not very good for the mind being in the police force. And then, of course, the last 15 years as a criminal defence lawyer. Every day I meet lots and lots of people, and they're all suffering from problems, depression, marriage split-ups, all sorts of things. So everybody's got problems, and I suppose the answer is how we deal with those problems, our attitude towards those problems. On the couch, I've got a lovely young man. He's 25. His name is David Garner. Most people have these minor problems, financial, school, bit of depression. This man has lost his entire family, God bless him, and he emailed me, and I saw his video. He's only been in the country since early 2012. David Garner, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
For coming on, and you know, and here I am saying, have you got a good story to share? And it's a very sad story because most people whinge about losing shares or having a toothache or losing a job. But what happened? You tell me about your family and your growing up.
Well, obviously, as you've mentioned, I'm the only surviving member of my family. I come from a family of 4. Obviously, as you can tell from the accent, I'm not from around here. I'm from Scotland.
It's a beautiful accent.
Yeah, thank you. When I was 12 years old, I lost my father, Graham. He was a keen runner, and he went jogging on a nearby hill range.
Where did you grow up, David? Which town?
I grew up in a town called Denny, which is just outside Glasgow in Scotland.
And Dad, what did he do for a job?
He collected, I don't think you have it in this country, you put money inside a box and it lets you watch 4 hours of the television.
Yeah.
He collected the money out of the box.
Wow.
So just an everyday job.
And he was a fit man?
Yeah, he was a fit man, very keen runner.
What's the town where you grew up, what's it called?
It's called Denny.
And everybody knew you, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so. We're a well-known family, yeah.
A well-known family. And he used to go running in the mornings, did he?
Yeah, he used to go running, I'd say morning and evening.
What happened, David? He had a heart attack?
Yeah, he had a heart attack on a nearby hill range that he used to go running on. It's quite high up. Basically, he suffered a heart attack and he fell into an area on the hill where it wasn't possible for people to find him. So for weeks and weeks, people searched for him but couldn't find him on the hill. And then all sorts of other stories.
I'm sorry to hear that. So he didn't come home after the run?
No, I didn't come home after the run.
And then the police almost put out missing persons reports?
Yeah, that very night, yeah. They reported him missing. He was supposed to come and watch me play in a soccer game that night. He'd never missed one in my whole life from I was about age 7. And he didn't turn up that night.
And what was the family thinking?
The family were just thinking there must be something wrong because it was so out of character.
And then he was found a couple of weeks later by...
Yeah, about 7.5 weeks later, he was found by a shepherd on the hill that he had went running on. He'd fell into some marsh that it wasn't possible to find someone in.
God bless him. And then your family members, it was a very difficult... What date was that, David?
He went running on September the 30th, 1999, and he was found on the 15th of November.
15th of November?
Yeah.
And tragedy didn't stop then, David?
No, unfortunately it didn't. I had an elder brother, Jay, who was 5 years older than me. And on the 4th of September 2000, less than a year later, I came home one day, I'd been at the shops with my mum, and I went up to check on my brother, and I just found him lying motionless on the floor. And then I checked for him, did what I thought was the proper thing to do, like checking for vital signs and stuff like that, but it transpired that he'd passed away as well.
Jeez. Jay.
Yeah, Jay was his name.
How old was Jay?
Jay was 18 at the time.
18?
Yeah.
Did he have an early departure because he wanted to leave, he took his life?
No, he didn't take his life.
No.
That was what the media reported at the time because he was found home alone himself, and there was some other circumstances as well that pointed towards it, but the coroner did a report into it, and he just said that the circumstances were completely unexplainable. They didn't have a reason for him dying. He didn't have any medical problems, nothing. He just passed away.
God bless him. Of a medical condition?
They don't know. They don't say. The death certificate actually says unexplained.
And you came home that day?
Yeah, I came home that day. I found him.
God. And how was the family then?
Absolutely devastated.
Who was left?
Just me and my mum, Maureen. So she's lost her husband and her eldest son. And I've lost my dad and brother in less than a year. So.
What did Maureen do for a job?
My mum was a stress consultant. She was also at university at the time of, like going through university at the time of both their deaths.
Did you stay in the house?
Yeah, I was staying in the house, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for a bit after then. Eventually we moved to a house pretty close by in the same town.
And sorry, what happened then?
So we moved from the house where my brother died maybe about 6 months after the accident.
God. So it would have been a very difficult time. What were you doing at the time, David?
I was at high school. I was only 13 years old,
Oh.
so I had just started high school. And
so I suppose all the other kids were smiling, playing in the playground, everyone, and poor old David Garner here, he's lost his father, found him 7 weeks later, and then his 18-year-old brother died as well. And you can imagine all the kids playing, and poor old David here, he's you know, trying to put on that mask, and that's what you're trying to do, because as young kids we don't want to promote bad news, do we?
Yeah, I put on a brave face, and I just wanted to not give my mum any more problems than
No.
what she already had. So, yeah.
What a terrible, I mean, what a challenging childhood, and then unfortunately that wasn't the end of it, was it?
No, unfortunately it wasn't. A few years sort of passed, and me and my mum were starting to come to terms with what had happened to us. But as I was sitting my high school exams when I was about 17, my mum came home one day. She'd been at the doctor's just on what I thought was a regular checkup, and she told me that she had breast cancer. Yeah.
It's a difficult life. How many years ago was that after your...
That was 5 years after my dad and 4 years after my brother.
5 years, so...
Yeah.
So it was almost at that acceptance stage, almost.
I'd say we were coming to terms with it. I was 17. I think past adolescence, I sort of matured very quickly for my age.
Yes.
I was growing up and I was doing well at school and stuff. And
you were the man of the family then, David, weren't you?
Yeah, I became the man of the house, yeah.
Yeah,
and
you would have been so close to... Mum's name is Maureen?
Mum's name is Maureen, yeah.
You've been so close to Maureen.
Yeah, I had the strongest bond you could possibly have with your mother.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And that would have been shocking news. And was it obviously a very serious...
yeah, it was very serious. She was told that she had to have an operation immediately, or she was severely endangering her life. So 2 days after she told me, she underwent a mastectomy and she had to have a breast removed to remove the tumour that was very large at the time. It was very large. I was told that she probably shouldn't have survived the operation. I think her chances of living were less than 10%.
What year was that, David?
That would have been in 2005.
2005.
Yeah.
And then the condition got better, or?
She underwent extensive chemotherapy and radiotherapy, obviously after having her tumour removed. And I'd say for a few years after her operation was probably the hardest time I've had to deal with.
It was a difficult time. What a heartfelt story. We'll be back with David Garner very shortly to tell us of how that story finished and some of his coping skills during those very difficult times. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show. I'm Michael Kazilny. Tough times never last, but tough people do. You're one of those tough people if you're going through some difficult issues. What a lovely man on the couch. David Garner, 25 years of age, came and joined us here in Australia only in March 2012. Most people complain about a toothache or their shares falling down or some issue at work. Some people even ring me as a lawyer and they say they've been stressed for 4 months because of a parking ticket and because the parking officer had an attitude problem. You know, sometimes I just hang up the phone. I'm so frustrated. This man here, only 25, but lost his father. God bless him. He went for a run and they didn't find him for about 7 weeks. Then later on, his 18-year-old brother, he unfortunately passed away, had an early departure. Mum came home with breast cancer and she battled through that. And at that time, of course, you had that big bond and then she passed away too.
Yeah, she eventually passed away.
Can you imagine that, folks? You know, we're all going to leave each other one day. All these lovely families out there all over the world. You know, it's all so impermanent. That's what we have to remember. We're all going to end up passing away, but this all happening to a young mind must be very, very stressful. Yeah. When did Mum pass away?
My mum passed away in March 2010.
2010. Yeah. And what did you do then? You were how old?
I was 23.
23, all by yourself?
Yeah.
Most people would have either gone to the bowler shop, got it absolutely smashed, got the old cocaine out, or the speed, or the dope, or any of those drugs, but you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
I was never into any of that as I was growing up as a teenager anyway. So I never got involved in that scene, despite most of my friends and
No.
most of my family as well. They had all dabbled in it. But no, I
No.
never seen that as the way out.
And one would think that when all this happens to you, you'd never be able to smile again or be cheerful again. But I can sort of relate. The hole's always going to be there in your heart. But how did you deal with it mentally, and how are you dealing with it now?
Well, obviously, as I've said, I had a really strong bond with my mum. My mum was a stress consultant and very into her positive thinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she basically raised me to be positive and try and see the brighter side of things. So when I was on my own, I just applied what she had taught me, and it seemed to get me by. I seemed to do okay.
So you can imagine, folks, 23 years of age, the family house, the whole township in Scotland know them. You know, they know the family members. All of a sudden, he's there by himself, thinking, what am I going to do next? What were you doing at the time?
At the time, I was a police officer.
You joined the police force.
Yeah, I was a police officer, yeah.
You thought, it's time to serve,
Yeah, I just...
time to help people.
Yeah, I thought it was a good career to get into at the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, so we share something common there as well.
Yeah.
We like helping people, and it's a very stressful job, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be if you let it get on top of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of interesting and harrowing things, but...
And you do, folks, you do. You know, some people say, oh, have you got a bit of a stress problem or something? And I think, I don't know, I probably have if I got diagnosed. But, you know, I was only in the job for 4 weeks when we had a call to Hoddle Street there when Julian Knight killed those 17 people, and all I saw was bodies on the ground. You know, I saw one chap on a motorbike going to the service station. All of a sudden, he had his head blown off. And, you know, a lady with a little baby, they were shooting through the window and she passed away, blood everywhere. 17 bodies, and I think another 30 injured, and this crazy man just shooting everybody, you know. And I'm thinking, you know, that's not good, really. They should have had some counselling for people. But and then also down at Frankston, the serial killer there, Julian Knight, that other guy, there are so many murderers out there, you know. It's quite disgraceful, people killing other human beings.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but that's another story. That's humanity for you. But you joined the police force, and Scotland isn't the most peaceful place, is it?
No, definitely not. The town I was from is very deprived and
Yeah.
high levels of unemployment and a very big drug problem and stuff, so it was always very busy at work.
So you do your walkthroughs at the pubs, everyone's smashing on a Thursday, spending their money.
Pretty much,
and you hear the pig noises. What are you doing, pig? You know?
Yeah. I thought I could smell bacon, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you just have to, you know, calm them down, but occasionally you get into the all-in brawls.
Yeah.
I've been in plenty of those. I lost a few teeth on those.
I've been in one or two, yeah.
Yeah, I've ended up in hospital, you know, a dozen times. Yeah. But it's all part of that journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
It's all part of that journey. And it was a real brotherhood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in, everybody said it was us and them, and they just got free grog from all the pubs and just got smashed after night shift.
Yeah.
Is that what happened there?
That's what most of them seem to do, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a bunch of alcoholics sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah,
or some of the blokes.
Definitely.
And then they'd all jump in the cars and drive home, and you think, God, you know, at .23, not all of them, of course, and the police forces around the world have completely changed. But back in those days, it was a stressful job. You'd be doing your 20 to 30 jobs. You'd see death, you'd see brawls, you'd see overdoses, and people got drunk on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's very easy to abuse the power that you have as a police officer because you're given the right to take people's liberty away from them. So
yes.
Yeah.
And in those days, I suppose when I worked, you were immune from getting caught because you had that thing we call a Freddy, you know, a badge, which was like, you know, power in those days, yeah.
That's what it felt like.
And power causes corruption, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yes. David, what a sad, heartfelt story, mate. I'm trying to think, you're such a lovely guy and you never went down that, you didn't suffer from depression.
No, not once. Never.
Not once?
I've never been to a therapist or a counsellor.
No.
I've never had any pain-killing medicine or stuff like that.
But I hope some of the viewers don't think he's careless. You loved your family very dearly, didn't you?
I think we had as strong a bond as a family of four could have.
Yes.
Very, very close-knit family. Obviously, I miss them every single day, but life goes on, hey?
Life goes on.
Yeah.
And what made you come to this lovely country?
I came to visit here last Christmas and New Year. I've got a couple of dear friends who have moved over permanently to Australia in the Victoria region.
It's a lovely place, isn't it?
It's a lovely place. And when I came, I was just blown away by it, and I thought, I need to move out there. I can definitely have an amazing life in Australia. And
amazing. And you met a lovely lady too?
Yeah, I did.
What's her name?
Her name's Rachel.
Rachel, do you want to say hello to Rachel?
Hi, Rachel.
And Rachel works as a ranger, but we might talk about how you inspire people through your hardship in a minute. We'll be back very shortly with David Garner. All the very best. Welcome back to the show. I'm Michael Kazziel. I was just saying before that every day as a lawyer I see so many clients, and you know, they're all stories about people going through some very difficult issues, going through relationship breakups, people who can't see their children, people are losing their jobs, can't pay the mortgage. It's just a flow and effect, but it's really our reaction to those things that causes our state of mind. So many people suffering from mental health issues. I think 1 in 3 is depressed, 1 in 5 splitting up. And sometimes I wonder what's happening to the world. You know, where is the laughter? No wonder there's so many people in the mental health industry, psychologists, life coaches, so many mentors. David, what's happening to the world? Why are so many people down and depressed? And you know,
I wish I had the answer to that.
Yes.
I did, but it seems more commonplace these days. It seems like there's more to get depressed about in this day and age, unfortunately.
Now, we've spoken about the sad. Now, let's speak about the positive, because you're a dynamo of change. You came here to Australia. You did a great life coaching course, the same one I did. I did it in New York. You did it in Canada.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you're here to inspire people.
Yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal, because that's what's really needed.
Exactly.
And if anybody, you know, this man has been there. He hasn't done the self-pity parties. He hasn't done the antidepressants and all that sort of stuff. And what's the secret? What do you do with your clients?
With my clients, I try and relate to them as much as I can. Like, your client doesn't really care what's happened in my life, so I try and put that to the side, take what I've learned from it, listen to them, and then use the knowledge I've gained and just try and apply it to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ladies and gents, you wouldn't get a more authentic, down-to-earth young fella. He's got the wisdom of a 50-year-old. He's only 25, but David Garner, Garner. Have a look at his video clip on YouTube. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. David Garner, and life coach in Australasia. You can get in touch with him. Did a great course in Canada. I did the same course in New York recently, and some great inspirational people there.
Yeah.
And where do your clients come from?
All over. My clients come from all over Australia and New Zealand, and I'm going to be going back to the UK to work with people as well.
Wow. Yeah. Will you go to the town where you came from?
I will, yeah. There will be people from that town, yeah. Hopefully I can inspire some of them.
Yeah. How do you approach life every day now? Like, do you think about the past? Do you think about the future? Do you think about today? Do you live in day-tight compartments? What's your recipe on approaching life with a positive attitude?
I wake up in the morning and I smile, and then I work, and then I laugh, and then I come home, I feel good. My overall goal is to make my family proud of me, and that's what gets me through everything. So. And
your family's you and your lovely girlfriend?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not family yet, but.
Well, it is.
Oh, well, I suppose
that's your family now, isn't it?
Some form of family.
Yeah, and she's a lovely girl. She works as a ranger.
Yeah.
So you guys must enjoy nature.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lives in the country. It's quite nice up there.
Wow. Yeah. And David, there's a lot of people out there who are suffering, who are going through some difficult issues. People ring me on a regular basis and they say, Michael, I'm just waiting for the right day and the right time to kill myself. You know, sometimes it's attention seeking. I never say, no, don't do it. Yeah. I say, well, how do you think you might do it? You know, but there's a lot. There's a lot who want to end their lives. Yeah. You know, it's so down. They just think, they don't think there's an answer. They might have gone through a few relationship breakups. That really gets the guys, you know. Or they might have hit the drugs, and that really gets you rock bottom too. The mind just, you know, goes rock bottom. And sometimes people are so stuck in their ego, they might have been multimillionaires, but they lose it all, and all of a sudden they want to kill themselves, which is quite selfish. But what advice have you got to those three group of people who think life is just not worth living anymore? I'd be happier on the other side.
My advice to anyone is that life is the most precious gift anyone will ever get given. So I personally think that everyone's got a right to live it to their utmost. And as I've found for myself, I mean, I don't come from a family of money or anything like that. I've had to earn my way through life, and I know what it's like to feel at the very bottom. And I managed to get out of it, and I just feel that other people, they can definitely do the same. It may be different circumstances, but if you've got the right attitude, then anything's possible.
And another question, a lot of people always think, oh, my neighbour's got all this, he's got the Porsche, he's got the better looking woman, everything. Always comparing, which we shouldn't do, because they always say if we threw all our problems into the centre and found out what everybody else is going through, we'd grab our problems and run away, folks. So, and that's not a good thing to compare all the time, is it? Because the world paints a picture of happiness and abundance when really a lot of people are suffering, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we should really appreciate the deck of cards life gave us.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
There's two guarantees in life: we live and we die. What happens in between is up to us. So why not make something of yourself?
And then another thing for the older generation, a lot of people who are a little bit older in their retirement, they lose their purpose in life, and their bodies get a bit older, and they almost feel unwanted. And there's a lot of stress in that age group, the sort of retired people. And what's your advice to that group who are on the way to the journey of death?
My advice to that is I've watched 90-year-old people complete marathons on the TV. That's my advice to them. Your life's not over till it's over. So while you're here, still breathing,
enjoy every day.
Yeah.
Good. And what are your plans for the future, David Garner? Tell us
My
about.
plans is to remain in Australia.
Good.
I just say I run a life coaching course that I take all over Australia and New Zealand, and I'm going to be taking it to the UK. So my plan is to remain busy and take what's happened in my life and use it for the good and inspire people worldwide.
That's wonderful. And how can people benefit from life coaching, and how long should it go for?
Life coaching can go for as long as you want it to go. I mean, I'll have my own personal mentor until the day I die, probably. But life coaching is it's been a proven breakthrough in so many fields and stuff. It's just a fresh way of thinking about things and thinking about perspectives in life and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile looking into, definitely.
And your lifestyle now, you keep pretty fit, you don't drink or smoke?
No, I imagine I won't ever drink or smoke now. I've sort of passed the stage of peer pressure and stuff. So yeah, I keep myself fit and eat healthy and look forward to every day. And
David, if people want to get in touch with you, what do they do?
If they want to get in touch, they can visit my website, my company's website. That's certifiedcoachesfederation.com. Or they can look me up on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Amazing. And that's some really great advice, viewers, isn't it? It's we all have problems. Some problems are smaller, some are bigger. David Garner's problem at an early age, he lost his whole family. He could have gone either way, but it's really that emotional response and our attitude towards those problems, isn't it? David, thank you very much for coming on and sharing some great advice there. Thank you. And viewers, thank you very much for watching once again. If you've got a story to share, why not join us on our Facebook page on Tough Times Never Last, or have a look at the website, or just simply come up in the street and say good day, or give us a call. Love and best wishes. We'll see you next week. Good night.